Okay, morning folks. Welcome to the Global Power Platform Bootcamp UK edition. Firstly, apologies for running this on a working day. I know everybody also has work to go to, and hopefully you've maybe got us on in the background as well as getting some work done. The Global Power Platform Bootcamp is the February 18th and 19th, and unfortunately, I happen to be moving house this weekend. So Friday it is. So all of these sessions will be available on YouTube, but just look at who's managed to show up despite the fact that we're recording this on a Friday. Look at the faces that we've got here and the presenters. So thank you so much to everybody for taking part and really jumping in and helping the community out to put on the only UK Global Power Platform Bootcamp event. So without further ado, let's just move on and I'll introduce you to me. So I'm your host today. So in case we haven't met, that's a crying shame and we should get on and do that. So reach out to me on all of these social things. So I'm Sharon Sumner. So I'm one of the leads of the Cambridge Power Platform user group, and one of our first speakers is also one of the new leads of the Cambridge Power Platform group as well. I'll introduce you to him in a moment. So I'll be around all day. So in the background of all of these sessions, I'll be here, I'll answer questions, I'll interrupt the speakers because that's what I do. So that we make sure that everybody is getting their voice heard through the chat, and make sure that the presenters are getting some good feedback as and when it happens if they're busy presenting and not necessarily looking at the screen. So I'll be your moderator. If we can keep the questions in chat, that really helps. And throughout the day, as I say, please let's have some chat going on that chat channel, and keep the thing light and airy and moving along. So obviously today what we're going to do is we're going to be recording all of the speakers so that we can put that live on YouTube. There will be events going on around the world, so expect to see lots of YouTube videos coming out over the coming few days, and we'll be prepping those up next week or in the next week or two. We've got quite a lot of speakers to get through. Housekeeping, please be respectful in your comments or in your questions. If we permit you to come off mic, please be respectful to the speakers that have given up their time for the day. And that's all I'm going to say on that, because I think it's a given. We're a community and we work together. These guys that have spent their time to come and pass on their knowledge and help show you some cool stuff that they've done in these apps. So it's really important that we respect the speakers and also the guests. So thank you everybody for coming along. Here's our agenda for the day. So what are we looking at? First up, the amazing Sancho Harker, who we can all see up there, hopefully, at the top of the screen. He's ready to go first. Sancho is Microsoft MVP, as are most of the speakers today, and will be sharing with us some of the stuff he's been doing on the amazing theming tools in Power Apps. Really worth seeing this session. I think this is probably the first session since version 3, so we're super lucky to have Sancho kicking off the day. We've got a session with Shane Young. This is a pre-recorded slot that he's done for us that we'll play for you at 10:30. We're going to move on to Serge and Isabel. Governance, really important topic. Sorry, skip forward. We've got Thomas, we've got Nick coming along from Microsoft to share with us some Power Apps portals session. We've then got Daniel, Marcin, Elizabeth. I mean, the names just go on. We've got loads and loads of people throughout the day. So it's going to be a really packed day. As you can see, we've got very few breaks, but again, don't worry. If there's a session that you want to see, we'll have that recorded and we'll notify you once we've put all those up on YouTube. So keep a lookout on the CAMS PPUG channel on my YouTube. So thank you. All of the sessions will be on YouTube. So let's get started. So that was a really short break. And Daniel's always well worth listening to. We're going to scooch straight into the next session to keep us on target. We've got something like 10 speakers throughout the course of the day, so it's been really fast paced, but thank you for bearing with us. We just wanted to bring you as much content as we could within the one working day. So let's carry on the Global Power Platform Bootcamp with our next speaker, who already here, hi, and is going to talk us through the AI Builder, a 101 on how we can use the tools and what it's all about. So I'm gonna hand straight over and let you introduce yourself. I think that would be.
Okay, thank you. So let's start. Let's talk about AI Builder. I need to focus on my mouse. My name is Marcin Siewnicki. I'm from Warsaw, Poland. I work with teams, SharePoint, modern workplace, and automation and AI stuff. So that's why I want to show you something about AI Builder. You can find me on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or on the Modern Workplace site blog. So let's go straight to the point. Today's agenda. So quick intro about AI Builder, about AI in our platform. Then I will talk a little about what is AI Builder, what you can get using this tool, what's different between other options, other features you can find in Microsoft 365 or Azure. Then models, so how you can use models, what kind of models you can find in AI Builder, what about custom models, and of course licensing models, so how much you need to pay for this, and a few use cases where or when you should use or where you can use AI Builder. So what is AI Builder? Microsoft described it as capabilities that allows you to add intelligence to your apps. It's great, but even if you have no coding or data science skills, and so it's a set of capabilities that you can add to your applications, applications in Power Platform. That's important. But you don't need to have any coding or data science skills. So you can use pre-built models, pre-built functions in your Power App or in Power Automate. So there are different features for each of those tools, but you can use them in both tools. And in Power Platform, you have, of course, Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent. And AI Builder is one of an additional or add-ons for those applications. So it's behind entire Power Platform tools, but you can add this to Power Apps and Power Automate only. But you can use this feature to enhance your applications. And when we talk about AI, of course, you can use Azure Machine Learning, but you have to create your own models. You need to know what you're doing. It's complex. You pay per use. So if you create a custom or complex model and want to analyze a lot of data, you will pay for what you use. But you must know how to create your own models. You must know entire machine learning stuff, AI stuff, etc. So it's you need to know almost everything about AI. The second option in Microsoft landscape is Azure Cognitive Services. So some predefined models, you can use them using only APIs. So you don't need to create own models, but you need some developer knowledge to consume APIs. You can consume them in Power Apps or Power Automate or your custom application. It's up to you, but it's semi-complex, easier to use than typical Azure machine learning services, but because you will use some predefined models. And the third option is AI Builder. So you can use predefined models. All those options, all those features are available directly from user interface. You must know Power Platform, Power Apps, or Power Automate, how to create, how to consume custom actions or functions. So it's easy to use. It's ready to use for citizen developers. So it's very, very easy, straightforward process. And this is an add-on, capacity add-on. So you need to buy capacity for your workload, but I will talk about that later in licensing. Section. So what about models? In AI Builder, there are two types of models. custom models. There are 6 custom models and 11 pre-built models. So custom models and pre-built models, you can use them in your apps. So custom models, what means custom? It means that you can train your model. Model itself is predefined, all logic are inside the model, but you can learn this model from scratch. So it will work based on your data. So we have category classification, so you can classify your data based on categories. Entity extraction, so take unstructured data and take some or discover structures inside data. For example, find emails, addresses in your document, find currencies, ID numbers, etc. Form processing, so you can learn your model how to discover your forms and then work on your forms. Object detection, so you provide a picture, an image, and photo, and this model discover objects on your from your file. Prediction, so predict something based on historical data. And image classification, so classify images based on some logic. And on the other hand, we have I lost my title. We have pre-built models. So this time, pre-built models are not only built by Microsoft, but also trained by Microsoft. So you will get ready to use box, because you can put something into that box and get results. You don't need to train, you don't need to provide any sample data. Ready to use model. So business card reader, category classification, the same as for custom, but this time it's based on the default categories. Entity extractions. So this model is built or trained based on typical, based on common entities. Key phrase extraction, so extract some meaning from text. Text recognition, so typical OCR system or feature. Receipt processing, language detection, so detect the language based on your text input. Sentiment analysis, so check sentiment of given text, very useful feature. Invoice processing, ready to use model to parse, to discover information, to get information from your invoices. Identity document reader, so you provide an identity image and you'll get data. Of course, this one works only with the United States identities right now. Text translations, so translate text from one language to other. And all those entities have their own requirements and limitations. For example, recognized languages or file size, etc. So you can find all those information on specific Microsoft page. I will provide you some links at the end of the session. But let's switch to the demo. So the main important thing. And here we go. So if you want to start with AI Builder, it's not free. You must buy it. And you must buy this add-on to your Office 365. But you can use trial version. If you go to Power Apps portal and in the left-hand menu, there's AI Builder section and click Explore, and you will get information about your current license and about trial. As you can see, I today enabled a trial version, so I have 30 days to use, to test, to play with AI Builder. And everyone in your organization can enable trial, and administrators cannot disable that function. So everyone is able and will be able to just activate trial version of AI Builder. So if you don't have any admin access, you can just go to the Power Apps portal, click on AI Builder section and enable trial for you. And what's important, when the trial ends, you should be able to extend those this trial for next 30 days. So it's a nice feature, but if you want to use it on production, just you need to buy the system to avoid any stops or limitations using your applications. And in this section, you will get all models. So you can go there, check all existing models. As you can see, there's a custom model label on some models. So this means that models are custom. There are some tutorials you can use, how to videos, etc. So you can go and check all information about each model and just start using this. Okay, and the second section, models, display my own model or models. So from this section, we can start play with models, creating our models, train them and publish them. So from the Explorer, you can select, for example, where's sentiment analysis, and you can test it. For example, I love our platform, and it's positive, confidence 100%, good, very good. And you have two options. You can use this function directly in a flow or in your Power Apps. So you can click and Power Apps or Power Automate will open, and you can start prototyping your flow or your application. So this works for all pre-built models, so models that are trained by Microsoft. But if you want to play with custom models, you need to go to models and create your model using this custom model and train this model to provide training data. I will start from this one because it required some time, and I don't want to publish it at the end. It depends on the size of model, custom objects, etc. So it takes some time to work. So I will start and create a very simple model. Just click build a model, select one that you want. I want what I want. Detect custom objects in images. So I can get started. It will create my model, and I must provide some information for my model. I will find for common objects. That's right. Choose objects. So now the very important thing, I want to type labels for your objects. You can add multiple objects, multiple labels for your model. I take on with car. And then images. I need to add at least 15 images to this model to start working. But the more the better. If you add 50 to 100 or 2000 images, of course, the model will be much accurate, much better. But I will stick only with 15 because we don't have much time for huge 15 images now. 15, come on, 15 images. So you can upload images from SharePoint from your local storage. And no, it's not here. Of course, it's not here. My mistake. I will upload 15 cars, 15 images from the internet. Yes, there are some cars, but you can use any image, any type of image you want. You need to use. If there's an error, for example, image is too big or in unsupported extension, unsupported type, you will get information about that. And when uploaded, it's pretty fast. Images are small, and now I can start learning my model. So this is the most boring part, because I need to go to each image and select an object. I'm looking for car, so I can select car, and for next one. So yes, car. If you have multiple objects, you can select multiple objects. If you not that, can of course select multiple objects on the same image, or multiple type of objects in the same image, depend on your requirements. So it's for cars, it's quite easy to do. Okay. Next one. Okay, 9 cars, 6 to go, and the next one. So I will go quickly through all cars in high resolution. So it's of course it's up to you to provide high quality images, high quality information for your model. Okay, because at the end your model will be better. This time I have only half, or even not half of the car, but it should be enough. That's it. So I'm done tagging with those cars, and next, okay, and train. So my model is training. It will take some time. It depends on the model, on number of images in this example, and complex of the model. So if I want to train multiple objects on using multiple images, it will take longer. So now I have to wait. But fortunately, I have some cars. I have the model you trained using the same type of cars, same images. So if you go inside, there is performance, but because I use only 15 images in very high quality, I get this 100 performance scores, which is unrealistically high. So it shouldn't look like that, but it's a demo. So okay, is it published? It's trained. So when your model is trained, you need to publish this model, and publishing make it available for your Power Apps or Power Automate. Publishing is quite fast. So let's wait. In the same time, I will create a yeah, it's done. So now I can create my Power Apps application. I will start with Canvas application, and I want to try consuming this application and test it on some cars. So I want to copy additional test images. So how to consume those models in Power Application, in Power Apps. So in Insert section, there is an AI Builder selection, and you can insert any custom models to your application. And we want to use object detector. There's a diamond, so it means that it required additional license, but in this case, it's AI Builder license. So, but I have a trial for this one. So let's start, and I want to, yes, premium, okay. Let's start here, maybe a little bigger. So the next step is to connect this component to my model. So I can select model and choose of one of these cars is the model for my cars, and that's it. It should work. It should work. It should work. So let's try. Detect. I will upload my test image. BMW College. So it's Okay, so something happened in that component. So as you can see, I get four cars out of 3, because that's because my model was trained on only on 15, using 15 images and with some half cars image. So that's the issue here. But those 2 are properly discovered. But what we can do about that? We can access all those data from this object detector 1 object and display it in some, for example, table. As a data source, I want to use. Oh, come on. Where's my AI? It's not here though. Okay. So items, it's object. No, there. Object detector 1. And what we have inside? We have results. We have display mode, some additional information about that. But we want, of course, results. And this is a table we can edit fields. And what we can find here, we have confidence, tag ID, and tag name. So we have a result from our test image. 4 cars with confidence 90%, 59, 49, 47. So you can get additional information about those objects if I try to upload a different image, for example, this one. We should get only 1 car, I hope. No, okay, that's my model failed. But this works great. So even if it's a truck, it was discovered by this model with quite high confidence, 88, 86%, and the last one, 68. But that's okay. This is only a test model, demo model with 15 images as a data. So you can create, use this information and save them in Dataverse, in SharePoint, wherever you want with this image, or count. Maybe you need to count those objects on your image. To be honest, I tried. I did some project about counting wood logs. So I had to train my model for to be able to count this kind of objects on images. So it was very hard work to train to select each log on the image, but it was able to count how many logs there are on the image. So you can do whatever you want with those data, count types, because you can use multiple type of objects. So count maybe cars, maybe bikes, cans, whatever you need. So this is about object detection model. As you can see, it's need only 5 to 10 minutes to train it and start working with this model, and it's ready to use. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to develop. You don't need to have any machine learning skills to work with this one. And you can use. We'll go back to this to models. Yeah, as you can see, this test model that I created a few minutes ago is trained already, so I can publish the model. And you can work the same way. You can train other custom models. For example, versus form processing. So if I want to create a new form processing model and train this model on using my own data, I need to get started. So create a model. This type process is a little bit different because we need to train it in a little different style. So I need to provide or add fields that I want to extract from my forms. For example, invoice number. What else? Vendor name. Maybe some date. And what we need, total. Okay, you can, of course, because if you want to process invoices, there's always some kind of tables. So you can create a table, items. There is ID. There is some, for example, name. Price. Based on this table, you will be able to train your model to discover tables and read all information from tables. Okay, and now the same way, I need to add my documents, my images to this model. This time I need to add at least 5, but 5 is only for demo purposes. If you want to create a real life demo, real life project, real life model, you need to provide much more information to properly train your model. I will train. Test information, test images here. No, train. Okay, I have 5 test invoices. And I need to tag each object the same way I did on my object detector model. So I'll simply go but this time you will get selections on each title or on each text in your invoice. So I need to only select this one and attach it to or assign it to my prepared label. So this is invoice number. Where's vendor? This would be a vendor. Date. I need some date. Is there a date? There's date. For total, we have here. For items. So table. Away. Assign header. I have different headers. That's not good. That's name. That's no. Okay, I'm messed up with this model, so I don't want to use items. But okay, it doesn't matter. I created different table structure than I have in my test invoices. Okay, so I will go and this is my vendor name. This is my date. You can select a section on just point out of this discover text and total. Where is total? Total is here. And items, yeah, done. So table won't be discovered this time because it's misconfigured. But you need to go through each of these on your test forms, invoices, and show where your required data are stored, in which field. And based on your selections, the model will train to discover your forms properly. So if you have different type of forms, you should upload them to your model and train your model based on different type of forms, different type of invoices to be ready to discover multiple invoices, multiple forms from different vendors, different scenarios to cover all possible scenarios that you need. And when done, we just click train the model in the same way as in image object detector. I won't do this because we don't have so much time, but I will quickly go back to my Power Apps portal, and I will show you already trained model for invoices. I used the same, I hope I used the same objects. It was this one, form test. So this model was trained some time ago. I can use this model in the same way I did with object detector. So I will start with blank screen, click AI Builder section, and add form processor. And I need to assign this to my test invoices model. And to be honest, that's it. It works in very similar way to the object detector. I copy some, just go play, upload, but I want to use this one, upload some test invoice, wait a few moments to, okay, and that's it. As you can see, I get some results, I get some selected fields with a table, total, so fully discovered form, and now I can use this data to save it somewhere to work, to process it in my Power Apps or Power Automate, because I can send those data to Power Automate as well. So if I want to discover, display this in a table way, so I can go, this one is the form processor 1, and I want results. Okay, edit fields, and I have all labels from my model. So date, invoice number, invoice, what else? Total, subtotal, tax. Because it's a date, I want value. Here I want a value as well. So quick fixing or changing value types. More subtotal also value, because you can also display some additional information, for example, confidence or page number where this value was discovered. Okay. There's anything else to test? I can use this one. Okay, my table don't want to work with me today. Why? Okay, because it's a record. Tables. This one would be better. Okay. I quickly display only one to save some time for the last demo. Okay, good. So I got information from this maybe to speak. Okay, from this table, so quantity, description, unit, price, and line totals, and I display here in my table only two fields, line, total, and quantity. But you can display all fields, save those information to your SharePoint data verse database, or use in some other way. But it's quite easy to play with those. You can even sum those fields and check if there's everything okay on your invoice. So as you can see, very simple, very easy to use. You need to only train it properly. So provide enough tests, invoices, test forms to your model, and then train it and use it in Power Apps. Okay, so let's go quickly to new screen. But those two models, here, those two models are examples from the custom models, so you need to train them. But there are a lot of models, 11 models that you can use directly without any training, just out of the box, click and use. To do this, I want to add one text input and one label. And in this label, if I type AI Builder, I can select which out of the box model I can use. I want to use. There's detect language, there's categorize text, analyze sentiment, extract entity, extract key phrases. I want to extract sentiment and provide my text input here. And I want what? I want sentiment, of course. So if I type here something, it's negative, great. So it very quickly discovers sentiment of my text. Positive, so works quite pretty accurate. So in the same way, you can use other, where is it here? You can use to discover maybe not sentiment, but detect language of your given text. If you want to check the language before you discover, or you can use this to discover email language to forward it to the proper department. You can discover text sentiment to check if a ticket support is positive, negative, etc. Or you can use this function in Power Automate. Those features are the same in Power Apps and Power Automate to discover Twitter sentiment. So if Twitter is if a tweet is positive, negative, or neutral. To do this, I will show you quickly how I built a very simple tool, very simple flow to analyze tweets. This is my test list with all tweets with Power Automate hashtag. As you can see, there's one about Global Power Platform Bootcamp, lot of tweets, and I check sentiment for every single tweet. Okay. So to do this, I grab all tweets using Power Automate, save those tweets on this list, and analyze them using this very simple flow. So there are some ready-to-use actions in Power Automate in the AI Builder section. So you can analyze positive or negative sentiment, classify text, detect, maybe a little bigger, extract entities, detect language, extract information. You can even, there are more. Okay. You can even use predict model, read business card information, recognize text in an image, or translate text into another language. So you have more options than in Power Application. So it's quite simple. Just I detect language using this action. Then for each text, I analyze sentiment. Is it positive or negative? And update the item. So one trigger and only 3 actions. And each time a new Twitter appears, I can simulate such thing. For example, test tweet. What something negative. Closes, yeah. The location, yeah, doesn't matter. It should be negative. Oh, we'll see. So when the flow starts, it will analyze this text and try to discover language of this text and sentiment. Okay, let's wait a second. Oh, no, not yet. I got some negative here, but it wasn't that one. Of course, there can be some false positives, fails, etc. So you should pay attention that it's not fully 100% accurate, but it should give you a very nice overview of positives and negatives sentiment in your tweets or in other text that you can analyze. Okay, not yet. Okay, I will check that. Okay, yeah, here we are. English and negative. That's I expected that result, so that's okay. Okay, we have only 3 minutes left, so let's go back to presentation because I need to show you very important slides. First, use cases. Of course, you can use this to scan and to process invoices. I use this different models for invoices processes multiple times. You can use to get vehicle maintenance forms for different type of questionnaires. Of course, image classification, product placement, support ticket analysis. It's very common to check sentiment of and detect language in your support tickets and forward it if it's important, different persons, different people, different department. And yeah, sentiment analysis on forums, emails, Twitter, etc. And of course, you can test it on the next use case is count objects from your images. For example, if you need to count specific objects from your from shelves in groceries, you can use your phone and take a picture, and your AI builder will count specific objects on this image. And a few words about licensing. You can get trial version for 30 days. You can even extend this for next 30 days, so that's great. It's a capacity add-on. So you need to buy units. So there is a unit. One unit costs $500, and you can buy multiple units. So if you get information that one unit is not enough, you can buy additional one. And of course, units are resetted at the end of the month. There is a great calculator at this Microsoft page. Can I copy this one? I should. So you can go to this page. This is the page, and provide select required. For example, I need to process 15,000 invoices. Monthly, so I need to buy 8 units, and it will cost me $4,000 monthly fee. But if I need only 500 invoices monthly, I need only 1 unit. This calculator, of course, is not fully accurate, but it should give you some overview how many units you need to cover. And the last slide, no code. You don't need to code anything. There are predefined models and custom models that you need to train. You can use those features directly in Flow and Power Apps. New features, of course, are on the way. You can't create model from scratch, so you can use only those models, and you can modify model, but you can register an external model through API if you create a model in Azure, for example, so that you can use. But models in AI Builder you can't modify them and just simply use them or train them. Okay, that's all from my side. I just finished my time. So thank you very much.
We
there are
do
some
have a couple of
questions.
questions.
Yes.
Yeah. So one was, what would you say is the greatest limit you've encountered with the AI builder?
Limits. Of course, language, different type of languages, I think is the most important limits, because I work with mostly with Polish and English customers. So in Polish, it's not so easy to use AI builder out of the box, but for English, it's not a problem.
Okay, second question. If for some reason a couple of fields in the supplier's invoice change position from those examples used to train the model, is there a level of tolerance where the model will still pick up the values?
Yes, if you train model on different type of forms, the model should be able to discover if there's left, right, up, or in different place, of course, but it won't be completely different from upside down. So some tolerance is possible, but of course, it's better to retrain your model periodically. So, for example, every month, every quarter, to add new forms to your model, because then it will be more accurate, better.
Perfect.